Might have spent too long with this rattling around in my head now, but I should stop to explain what I was so clear on. I'm not so clear. Light, yeah. Light is it's information. That's 100% completely in and out. How am I explaining this in a completely holistic? Light is information. The essence of information is light, right? You think about it with the language. Someone's seen the light. You're enlightened when people talk about I was completely in the dark. Words have meaning, and there's something in our language beyond the phonetic nature and the possibly underhanded motives behind that, or not. I was very clear. I was in the shower and I was looking at I had these collection of spheres with liquid in them and a little crystal bowl. I got crystal, and it was a K9. It's like a glass bowl. Anyhow, so I was just sort of watching that as I was thinking about stuff in the shower, and knowledge and information is passed through light. Orbs are the carrier of this, so the more we sort of look at what I've been saying is subtle variations in light. It's what tells the story. So as you start to notice these things a little bit more, and perhaps in doing that more is revealed, or it's just you paying more attention, and you start to look at the observe the intricacies of the information, of the image of what we're seeing, what we're taking, what we're projecting out. You look at these spherical glass container type thing, and the way light moves in that. I mean, it tells a story independent to that which we would predict, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. So, normally we're like, okay, there's a light travels in a straight line, there's going to be hits something, there's cast a shadow, boom, there. Well, it doesn't happen like that. I'm sure you mathematically calculate these things. I'm sure there's computer programs where you shine light at a spherical bowl and it would depict what would happen. What I'm saying, I suppose, beyond that is I don't think that would necessarily. It goes beyond, I think, even what a computer would say. This is the angle, the angle, the path of trajectory, blah blah blah, and it will shoot out this exact pattern. Well, what happens on when looking at those types of things and reflections and that sort of thing is it goes beyond that, right? It's not predictable. It has form, and there's a liquid nature to the whole thing. And when we're looking through orbs a lot. I think some more than others, and maybe we're all looking through the same amount, and some are just, starting to notice the differences a little bit. But I'm gonna try to get you some footage made of well, it's on my phone just before I gotta go. I fixed the little computer camera thing that looks out the front, for your garage. It's basically like a window, and I used to, been there for a bit and miss careers and shit. But anyhow, I fixed that again after it mysteriously got turned off by some Bluetooth device, it would seem. But after I noticed it getting dark occasionally during the day on a time lapse, and then I played with the footage and realised that you could play with the footage and I could still make everything appear. So it wasn't. I'm not quite sure what sort of glitch. I thought maybe it was pointing at the ceiling, or maybe I'd opened the garage door, but yeah, I'm a little bit funny and I'm getting off completely off bloody topic track. What was I saying? Yeah, okay, this camera's got no IR sensor, so as you know, it brings out a lot more light that we don't generally see. That light that normal cameras pick up a little bit of, and that helps us determine and I suppose interpret what the fuck's going on around us. But this one picks up a little bit more, so that helps. But because it always looks out the front, there's basically a sort of 3 spots that orbs exist. Let's say, somewhere basically between in about 3 metre zone, so from where the lens is, and this is something I'm noticing when you pick up on other cameras, and a little bit I'm starting to notice it with my eyes, in that I notice it with my eyes when there's the introduction of another medium which changes the regular path of the light, and that basically reveals what is a spherical bending of light, trick of light, used as, or part of, or being the orbs that we're looking through. But that can be used to, the way it is used, that's what I've come to know, but to transfer, it's a transfer of information. And I'm sort of seeing them as, I'm thinking of them as a conduit for the transference of energy, the information, right? And these, let's say crystal ball, or the spherical thing with the water, whatnot, that it's tied in with that, in that, well, it's a lesson in, I suppose, understanding how they're working. But I'm just getting off track again. So when this camera, right, so I'll send you the bloody footage, man. It's a few pictures, screenshots, whatever. It's only like a minute or something, a video. Just when I look at, I went in there because I'm about to go on the bike, and I look up and I'm like, it looks different. What's going on there? And I've noticed for ages certain things will be different. That's when I started to realise, right? I will see that you can I think quite clearly it's assisted with this camera, and it's also looking through a plastic. This camera is looking through no IR filter. It's also looking through, like a clear, but I think perspex, medium, which is again exposes what the orbs are doing with the light. So I look at the front, I'm like, oh, that's really weird. And there's another truck across the road. I'm like, maybe there's a truck. But what happens is I'll start to see, like with nature spirits, right? Information in the form of seeing, at this stage anyway, for me, from my perspective, it's like seeing, I suppose spirit, essence, but it would be like creatures, animals, people. I was just going to talk about the information, the light is information thing. I was sort of going waffled on, but I do have to go shortly. Right, I started to notice over time, right, that where I would see them in the front, they'd hold their position, and a few, I think, kind of cool notions were crystallised during that. One of the ones which I'm just remembering now. So where they first, sometimes it seemed like more would be attracted, and when it's night time, the reflections will come from those regions. The same thing happens in the house. It's how you know that all these are around. You look at Paul Little's footage, Steve Criddle's, that type of Victor. It's a tell, a trait, it's just part of it's a sign that they're around. And what that is it's light reflecting in a way that we wouldn't normally predict, and it's been reflected out of these spherical vehicles for transferring information. We'll call conduits, orbs. Just let me say orbs, you know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so one of the cool things is that in the spot where they would be, I'd see them hold their position like me. That's where they kind of live. They sort of move into this spot. Well, flowers, right, grew, because I've got a little grassy bit with hill there. It's I struggle to pick so it doesn't get don't get cared for that much, but it doesn't get a lot of bloody sun or whatever. It's only a small area. It gets a bit of sun, but it's in a weird angle, and water runs off it. Blah blah blah. Flowers grew in the exact spots where these orbs had collected. Like I left them on the grass. I mowed the grass around, left the flowers. It was fantastic. Look, this yellow. I want to call it daisy. I don't know if that's what they are, but you know what I mean. The yellow doesn't matter. And I'm looking at one now. I'm going to take a picture afterwards. It's only a little one. Point is, flowers grew where they were. All right. This is sort of stuff that's I don't know, urban legend, myth is passed on. Where like mushrooms and whatnot will go. It was a thing. I don't know. I think it was a known, yes, ancient cultures or people beyond our, ignorant, think we know it all. Modern scientism, backwards civilization that we're in now. So prior to us lot, use the term loosely. I think that was an understood thing, right? And so I've had visual confirmation. Point is, it's real. All right, that certainly confirmed it for me. And there's similar things out the back. It's why it's why those beautiful parts of nature look so beautiful. You don't know why they look so beautiful. Well, not that we need to know why. They just are beautiful, right? We don't have to fucking explain it. But listen to us. We will persist in attempting to explain it with mere words. I think it's all part of the challenge, part of the game. Because it's all beyond fucking words, clearly. But I could just sit here and just keep thinking what I was thinking before, but it's not really going to share the message. It's not going to get it to you, and that sort of thing. What am I going about now? I think I've missed the point of where I was. Oh yeah, looking out the front, right? It's becoming clearer and clearer where the orbs lie and how what we're seeing through this is a trick of light. So basically, you will see the bending of light, the spherical. So on my letterbox is that you can see that it's actually very clearly it's curved and looks like a big marble's in the way. And what it is because we're looking through these orbs. You see the shadows a little bit different. Things are just slightly sort of out, and over time you start to realise and notice. You can see the circular shape, and then within that you see spirit, which takes the form of, I suppose, maybe a brain or whatever's on this side, has to meet it in the middle, and it takes us while we start forming. So some of these things maybe look a little bit strange, and the story about I'm gonna be late. I'm not late. I'm setting my own time today. They talk about shamans and that. So there's a story that when whether it's over when Columbus, I think it was, turned up on, or maybe it was Spanish or whatever, the same turned up on South America. There's like the Central or South American indigenous people. The story is they couldn't see the boats, right? Are you sure you would have heard this? The boats are out there and they couldn't see them, but the shamans could see the boats. So the only people within the tribe, within the whole lot, that it could actually see them and make them out, and that's, I don't know, that story sort of stuck with me. Probably stuck with me over the last couple of years when I try to say, oh, look at that. People are like, there's a cloud. But we can only see, all right, what our minds allow us to see, and I won't go too deep on this. How much we're contributing to it. Maybe we're contributing to the entire thing behind the scenes, and we don't get to see. We don't get glimpses of behind the scenes, or like our higher selves is behind the scenes, and we're out here. It's all part of the fun games. Trying to do things with, your leg tied to everybody else in a three-legged race. Oh, haven't I just gone off on a tangent there? I'm trying to remember what I was actually talking about, John. No, I had a point that might not have seemed like it, but I did have a point that I was getting to. Anyhow, I'll just go, fucking hell, it's a lot longer than I thought. I'll just wrap it up. Yeah, so information, right? Light is information. It is information. That's why the sunrise and the sunset is so powerful. I think it's when we're able to look closer at this thing and receive more information. It's why it's all. It's because everything is bloody light. You know, we are just a conscious hologram within a part of this. Now I'm definitely going on. Yeah, so I think it's important for us as people to I think pay attention to the interplay between light and dark, between from what we're seeing essentially in nature. You know, parts of it obviously introduced. You know, staring at the screen the whole time, as we've spoken about it, as we know, and we both, you know, still do it quite a bit. You know, it probably gets us further away, but also it's, you know, in some ways clearly it helps us make sense of things, and it's like anything else, it's got to be fucking balanced. I'm forever seeking balance in my life. Always seeking, not always, not often for it. I don't know. Oh man, I got off self-conscious and I think I lost my point. Yeah, I think this one will just I'll go. I'll take it right into the city and sort some shit out. Cheers mate. This is gonna be too big for me to even just send it to you. I have to email. I'll find a way to get it there soonish or not. The orbs are a conduit. They're a vehicle by which information is passed to us. You know, it's light. We tapped into knowledge that's already there inside of us. It's the same. It gets said a lot. It's said a lot because it's true, and that's why we're taught about outer space, to look out there, and you are nothing, and look out, everything's out. Oh, we keep saying, man, so you look at the opposite. Everything's opposite of what we've been told. They want us to think about outer space, and no, inside. You gotta go in. You gotta actually have time to interpret, look, think. You know, we don't have time. These days it's hard to get that time. Everyone's stressed. No one's got that time. Yeah, this extra communication is just served to keep everybody sort of overstimulated. You know, underexpressed and bottled up. Pulled from pillar to post. People. Yeah, needs to be more time for communication and time for, you know, ourselves. What do we say? Time for each universe. You know. Okay, mate. Cheers. Take care, man. Bye. Thanks.